Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions concerning this watch. Today we discuss a Panerai 250-piece limited edition in grade 5 titanium launched in the 2023 model year. This is the Panerai Luminor Regatta PAM01299. So a limited edition of 250 pieces. This plays to modern era Officine Panerai's association with the good life at sea, whereas the company in its historic era was associated with naval seafaring. Seafaring of a more genteel variety is now the focus of the brand, and it has many associations, both in terms of its posturing and its actual sponsorships with regatta, competitive sailing, and the good life at sea. So this is designed for those who race sailboats. Regatta, a competition usually involving multiple matches, and the matches require specific countdowns to their starts, which is why this is a programmable regatta counter that is also a flyback chronograph. Now, it's a large watch, and despite being titanium, I would not describe it as particularly light. Let's see what it actually masses on my scale. Sammy, the scale says that this titanium watch is 169, well, almost 170 grams. So a massive watch by all means. Don't mistake it for some of the toy-like, unnervingly light titanium watches out there. This is made titanium for the owner's survival, and it is a big watch by every means. 47 millimeters in diameter, 19.2 millimeters thick, 56.2 millimeters from lug tip to lug tip with a 26 millimeter spacing between the lugs. While it is an instrument style watch and thus large is to a degree the aesthetic, I do believe it's too large for my wrist. Even moving out and looking at my arm in proportion, I believe you need a wrist a little bit larger than mine. So let's say 17 centimeters circumference to wear this well. And again, a person the same size as I am, 6 feet tall, might find that this wears well just on the basis of having a thicker wrist with a bit more meat on the bone. But you can also see this will not slide underneath the dress cuff by no means. Taking a look at the strap itself, you can see this is a rubber caoutchouc type strap, and Panerai OEM, made in Austria, very flexible. You can see it's got a little bellows-like accordion segment that endears itself to the owner by providing great flexibility. And we've got a matching titanium buckle. You can see that the buckle is actually fixed to the strap using a screw and a bar, and that the strap is fixed to the case using Panerai's more premium easy release system. So in terms of the hierarchy of Panerai lug systems, we'll count the Radiomir out for a moment. But on Luminor style watches, you've got spring bars, which are the cheapest. You've got bars and screws, which are secure but rather crude and force you to use a screwdriver and test your skills. And then there's this system where you just push this plunger down and you run the bar through to remove it. This is the most secure. It's also the easiest to use without disfiguring your watch. Taking a look at the case now, there's a lot going on. We have the device protecting the crown, and if you look very carefully, you can see the crown has a sort of olive military green, or verde militare, as they like to say, shoulder to the crown itself that makes it easier to grip, I must say. We also have a little bearing inside the locking lobe of the cam system. And then this whole crown, originally designed back when the Panerai watches were manual wind and required frequent winding and setting, and simply screwing the crown in and out would wear down the stem tube assembly and the seals. So Panerai innovated a cam-based system that only compresses and decompresses the seals, giving them greater longevity. But what that also does is it makes it a lot harder to damage the crown, as you have more protection than a simple Rolex-style shouldered crown guard. You also have a more obviously unlocked crown to avoid it jumping into the water with your crown unlocked. And I find that this lever, particularly with the extension tab, is a lot easier to open and lock than a shouldered crown that might be quite tight and difficult to grip if your hands were wet. Taking a look at all of these triggers, there is a lot going on here. So let's start with the basis of the flyback chronograph concept. You see R, so that is for the retour en vol and regatta functionality. So we have flyback capability, but we also have, I'm going to stop it now, is another sense of the letter R, which is the regatta. We have the ability, through this trigger, to count back as many minutes as we want. So if you wish, you can dial back 15 minutes, and then what happens right here is you start up the chronograph, and it will slowly progress back to 0. Now here's the thing. That hand also works as the minute hand of the chronograph. So once the chronograph reaches, we may as well just fire everything back now. But once the chronograph countdown reaches 0, that minute hand will now become a radial 60-minute hand, and it will start counting up. So first, you count down, and then you fire the chronograph, and it counts back towards 0. So you have quite a bit of programmability here. You also have the ability to time things that happen in rapid succession by means of the flyback chronograph, which does not need to be stopped and restarted by separate triggers or commands. So it is both a programmable regatta countdown timer, and it is also a flyback chronograph with a central 60-minute register. Let's first demonstrate the independent hour hand. By the way, you can move this even as the other functions, including the chronograph, are not affected, and you can jump across time zones individually by moving. If you pull the crown out all the way, watch the second subdial, you activate the 0 reset hacking seconds that sets the second hand straight to 60, allowing you to more easily synchronize to a reference time. Now, being a Panerai, there is plenty of luminescence, and this is the sandwich-style dial that the company has made famous, with a stencil that includes the indices and the numerals over a solid disc of lume, which gives a wonderful depth effect and quite a bit of luminescence because the luminant material used is very bright. You can also see that the sub-register luminescence is evident in the dark, so you can see your chrono minutes and your running, or your chrono hours and running seconds, I should say. There is no date on this watch, which improves the symmetry of the dial. We do have quite a bit of orange here, which I find endearing as I like colorful watches. It's all 100 meters water resistant, and it's an iconic look. It is still at heart a Panerai Luminor, and that crown guard is identifiable the world over on every populated continent among watch collectors. Everyone knows what model line and what brand, Panerai Luminor. Turning it over, now we have the movement as well as the case back, individually numbered out of 250 pieces. You can see we've got a combination of polish, satin, and media blasted titanium on this watch. The movement is rustic in its finish, but effective in its engineering. Automatic winding, you can see it uses ceramic bearings, and I believe bidirectional winding action to distinguish it from the unidirectional winding wobble of Panerai's historic 7750s that were used many times in the past. So they wanted a clean break with the past, so I believe this is a bidirectional winder with ceramic bearings to make up some of the lost efficiency of going with bidirectional over unidirectional. 37 joules, caliber P9100R, again, whether you consider that to mean regatta or retour en vol for the flyback functionality, neither one is wrong. We do have a column wheel function selector to make for crisp feel, and then we have a vertical clutch to make for seamless engagement. You can see it always starts without any jump or stagger because there is no inherent play in a vertical clutch, unlike a lateral clutch. Also important to note, if you wish to leave your chronograph running full time, it won't have the same power reserve, which is normally 3 days on this watch, but it will not cause any additional wear or tear to the watch, so you can leave this chrono running without wondering what might happen to the mechanism. As you can see, the movement is large and nicely fills this case back. It's a 4 Hertz beat rate, which is fairly high by Panerai standards, and there are variable inertia screws in the balance that give it great timing stability, and this free sprung architecture allows it to be regulated very precisely for the sake of better timekeeping. There is a lot going on in this watch, within and without this watch. The PAM01299 simply packed with features. A more is more type watch, not for the Paneristi purist. That person's buying a two-hander that's manual wind, no date. But this, again, I said it's sort of a bridge between Panerai's historic naval seafaring and Panerai's modern dolce vita notion of seafaring, which includes quite a bit of yachting and regatta sponsorships. And in that sense, this is for a modern Panerai enthusiast. So reach out to Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase and pricing details. With one last detail I wish to share, you may be wondering what this scale outboard is for. It's a very low calibration, right? Well, it's not for race cars. It's a tachymetric scale designed to measure the speed of things going very, very slowly between about 30 and 1.5 knots or walking speed. So again, reach out to Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.